And I'm Mallory Anderson. Thanks for joining us on this first day of spring, where we are under a weather alert. I can't tell you guys how windy it is here right now. We have almost been blown over multiple times. We are actually here waiting for the Major Crimes Unit to show up, who will give us some more information about what happened here tonight. But as you can see, it is still a very active scene behind me. I don't want to assume anything, but I would have to guess that tonight will be their biggest crowd yet, considering the Avs, they have the chance to take home the Stanley Cup. Make sure you're wearing bug spray that has DEET in it. And I know it's been really hot outside, but it is best to wear pants. And when you wear those, you want to tuck your pants into some really long socks like I'm wearing right now. This data is confirming what a lot of us already knew. Some of us even experienced scores of vaccinated people coming down with the virus recently. A lot of them getting tested here at the Chapel Hills Mall. Firefighters will be putting out hotspots in this area all night long, which means people who live in this mobile home park will not be able to return tonight. After Mitchell's wife fled, the manager of the Fowler Inn told police that the suspect was, quote, going crazy, drinking copious amounts of alcohol and even drinking hand sanitizer. The manager called police and he was taken to a hospital, which is how police were ultimately able to catch up to him. I'm here outside of Bristol Elementary School. Roger Jacobs, who is accused of crimes against children, used to live just steps away from this spot up until his arrest in December. Turns out Colorado does not have any law restricting sex offenders from living within a certain proximity to schools or other areas frequented by children. We begin tonight with breaking news. A Colorado Springs police officer has been arrested on a felony kidnapping charge. The man accused of murdering a 17-year-old co-worker at a Colorado Springs drugstore made his first court appearance today. Colorado Springs police are beginning their week with multiple shooting investigations from over the weekend, one of which turned deadly. It'll run you about $900 for the cheapest nosebleed ticket to the Stanley Cup. The driver, accused of transporting a record haul of fentanyl in Colorado, is now missing after promising to cooperate with investigators. In developing news that we've been tracking now for 12 hours, a wildland fire burning in northwest Colorado Springs at Blodgett Peak. The Salida man is facing trial, charged with killing his wife Suzanne around Mother's Day of 2020. Suzanne's body has not been found. Colorado Parks and Wildlife shared an adorable video of a fawn that was just born in Colorado Springs. It is a mega $1 million mishap. The Mega Millions lottery sending thousands of dollars in prizes to the wrong people. It meant losers were getting paid. I feel like that video needs to come with a warning. It's so gross.
Like if you've just eaten something in the last hour, I apologize that I showed that to you, but it's a yearly thing on the 4th of July.
I know.
Hot dogs, Joey Chestnut eating 60 or more in a small amount of time.
How many could you eat in 10 minutes?
In 10 minutes? 3, 4?
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
I like that you're modest. You know what? You don't want to blow them away.
No.
Santa, I can't believe you came and stopped by KRDO.
I have like 3 billion kids on my list. I needed a break.
I know. You got to get going, but who knew you were such a big sports fan?
I love sports. I love that sports guy you guys have on 13.
Pretty good.
It's
pretty
amazing.
good. There are things you can do right now to avoid the anxiety that comes with being underinsured if you lose your home in a fire. The first, don't buy your insurance and then forget about it. Checking in with your agent every 1 to 3 years ensures that you are covered adequately, and any recent updates you've made to your home are included in that coverage. Second, ask your agent to justify how they came up with your replacement values, and then talk to local builders for an estimate on what it would cost per square foot to rebuild. This is Junbei. He's a black rhino, and some of the quarters from Quarters for Conservation go to helping out black rhinos just like Junbei out in the wild. Here you go, bud. But this isn't the first time the Parks Department has had to install a gate. Several years ago, gates went up here at Palmer Park, and park staff say that has really helped deter illegal activity. But now the explosive growth of this important tool is adding to the burnout being felt throughout the medical industry. While patients have more access to doctors logging on rather than sitting in waiting rooms, there's just not enough healthcare workers to help them. Anne says she tells all of her clients the second they step foot in a house to assume that they're being recorded. That's because nowadays it's more unusual not to have a camera inside and outside of your home. The price of inflation can be found right in your fridge. Milk up 4%. Eggs, they're up 11%. and meat up a whopping 15%. So when can we expect to see some relief, if any? So let's see how hot I am right now. It's looking like it's about 80 degrees. So is that about normal for inside?
Right.
All right, so now we'll head outside and see how quickly that temperature falls. Emily Gallardo is now a part of what her coworkers call an elite club. That club is for 911 dispatchers who have successfully helped deliver a baby completely over the phone.
Is she completely alert?
911 dispatchers take a lot of calls every day. Everything from car crashes and medical issues to plenty of non-emergencies.
I've had someone call me for directions before from 4th Street.
But at 8 a.m. last Tuesday, dispatcher Emily Gallardo got the call of a lifetime.
My wife's going to labor. Baby's coming right now. I don't have time to get her to the hospital.
Okay, I'll have them on the way.
And I said, okay, you know, keeping calm. We've had these kind of calls before, but AMR or EMS or fire has always shown up before anything happens.
Emily started going through the required list of questions and instructions for the stressed dad. But the labor progressed much faster than anyone involved was expecting.
I asked him, how far apart are the contractions? Less than 2 minutes or more than 2 minutes? And he goes, I think 30 seconds. And I said, okay. Next thing I know, he says, the head's out. His head's out.
That's when this already dramatic call takes a very scary turn.
Is the baby crying or breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Not yet.
Where's the cord at? Is the cord around the neck or body?
Oh, yes, it's around his neck. It's around his neck. Okay, it's okay, buddy, I got you.
Okay, it's common for the umbilical cord to be wrapped around the baby's neck. Listen carefully, and I'll tell you exactly what to do. Slide your finger under the cord without stretching the cord tight. Carefully pull it over the baby's head, away from the baby's body. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Is the baby breathing now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
As soon as he did that, I heard the baby cry in the background. And so I threw my hands up in the air and got goosebumps.
EMS arrived seconds later and took the family to a Pueblo hospital. Because of Emily's calm instructions and the determination of the dad, baby boy and mom are both healthy.
If I could reach out to them, I would tell them, good job. He did, oh my gosh, I can't get over how good he did and listen. Because some of them on the phone, I mean, they're so distraught. They're so excited. I mean, we can't get instructions to them. And he did phenomenal.
Oh, and guess what? This incredible experience is made even more powerful by the fact that dispatcher Emily is also 6 months pregnant with a baby boy.
I've had plenty of family members and friends say, well, now you know what to do if you go in labor. And I was like, I better not.
To put into perspective just how fast this labor happened, the dad called 911 at 8:05, and by 8:09, that baby was already out. Truly a whirlwind experience that should remind us all of the important work 911 dispatchers in our community do every single day. Nicole Hall was just 29 years old when she went into a UC Health hospital to give birth to her third child. After 2 normal deliveries, she never imagined things could go wrong. But things went so wrong, she was flatlined in a hospital bed for 7 minutes and only survived because of blood donations from multiple people. What was supposed to be one of the greatest days of Nicole Hall's life quickly took a dark turn.
I love pregnancy and delivery. It's my favorite thing, and never once did it cross my mind that I would die that day.
While in the hospital prepping for delivery, Nicole started to feel nauseous and hot.
I remember my husband then telling me, I'll go get you a cold washcloth, and the nurse turned me over to my left side, and that's the last thing I remember.
Nicole was suffering from a sudden and unexpected life-threatening birth complication called amniotic fluid embolism. That's when amniotic fluid enters the bloodstream and causes somewhat of an allergic reaction. It then put her into cardiac arrest. Luckily, an ER doctor ran over to help and performed an emergency C-section, despite Nicole not having a pulse.
that's when I started profusely bleeding out. So then I went into DIC to where your blood's not clotting. And they started the massive blood transfusion protocol at my hospital, and so started running blood continuously. So at that point, they had told my husband, you know, right before then, we were doing a postmortem C-section. Would you want to gown up so you can kiss your wife goodbye?
Miraculously, those blood transfusions, made up of donations from everyday people, saved her and her baby's lives.
I am so grateful and so thankful for these donors. I wish I could thank them individually. They not only allowed me to meet my son, but they allowed my children to not grow up without a mom. They also allowed it to where my husband isn't a widower and he's able to keep his wife and not be a single dad raising 3 kids.
Nicole says blood donations gave her a second chance at life. She now uses her story to encourage others to pay it forward and donate blood.
And you never think you're going to be that person that it would happen to until you're that rare case.
Nicole is so passionate about blood donation that she even hosts drives whenever she can. She'll be hosting a drive in Colorado Springs for Mother's Day as a partnership with Vitalant and UC Health on May 12th. We have all the details at KRDO.com.